This time we're going to listen to Meeky Hwang talk about building your WordPress career from beginner to pro. It's all yours.
Thank you. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, so this talk is about building your WordPress career from beginning to pro. I'm trying to give you a comprehensive guide to growing your career with WordPress or even any other technology pretty much, because it's, you know, they're all kind of intermingled. Huh? Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, so I don't want to go to, I don't want my computer to go to sleep, so I'm just going to stand here, make sure it doesn't go away. Just before I start, how many of you are developers? Designers? Content creators? Entrepreneurs? Freelancers? All right, so we have a really good mix. So hopefully this is useful for a lot of you because I'm trying to see all the other pillars of the career. And so I'm Meeky Hwang, and I'm a CEO and co-founder of Endeavor. To kind of give you a quick intro to Endeavor is a WordPress development agency. Unlike other traditional full-service agencies, we don't do creative work. So we just focus on development, just so that we want to build it right. And our client base are enterprise digital media companies like Hearst, Bloomberg, or PMC, actually. But yeah, so we partner with creative agencies to do creative work, or usually work with client design team to work together. Okay, so yeah, I went to.
Mike's just reporting, so.
Okay, yeah, I went to the speaker event yesterday, and it was a loud bar, so I was screaming at each other. I lost my voice, so if I'm loud, just keep telling me to say it louder. So just quick about me. I did a little intro, but I'm an engineer, business owner, content creator, and casual designer. I have an engineering background, so I was a solution architect and software engineer as a start. And I co-founded Endeavor, as I said, and I'm a CEO right now. And I built business around WordPress using WooCommerce or other tools, blogging and stuff like that. And I'm a blog post author, so it's as you get progress as an expert in industry, as well as if you actually start a company, have a small business owner, you probably understand that you write content for the marketing, or even when you want to showcase your expertise in different area in your industry, you start writing about content. So with that, it kind of naturally comes with a blog post author. And we recently started a podcast called Boozy Browsing. If you're interested, you can ask me after. So I'm a co-host of Boozy Browsing podcast as well. And I have a master's degree in computer art, specifically 3D animation. So I'm very excited about designing beautiful things. So I call myself a casual designer for that matter. So I'm a lot of things, I guess, over the course of different things that I work with. So the journey ahead for this talk specifically, I'll briefly, I'll talk a little more details about my WordPress career journey. And we'll dab into some history of WordPress. So, I mean, you guys are all working with WordPress ecosystem. So just kind of introducing how WordPress evolved and what happened during this 22 years of WordPress will be probably beneficial and a good refresher for you guys to look at. And technology trends, obviously WordPress is related to technology. I don't know if you guys knew, but so there are a lot of things that happened during this whole 22 years, and what affected each other and what happened will be a good thing to kind of realize. So I wanted to go over that a little bit. And career evolution, with all these things happening, how the careers within WordPress or in technology evolved around. So I'll dive into that a little bit. And different career path options. So like, as you said, we have a lot of variety of different roles and people who are working in this whole WordPress ecosystem. So just kind of mentioning different things, and because obviously we're working together very cohesively. So I wanted to show that a little bit. And what future lies, what's going on, how to position yourself with all this AI and all these different things coming up. So I'll walk through that a little bit. All right, so every journey is different. Your WordPress career journey is unique to you, whether you're starting as a blogger, designer, developer, or entrepreneurs. There's a path that fits your goal and aspiration in many different ways. Maybe you're just starting, maybe you're already far ahead, maybe you're way far ahead. but your journey starts somewhere. And I wanted to mention that there's so many different paths and so many different stories that you can build. So my personal journey, 1998 to 2004 is when I started playing with HTML and other technologies. So my first HTML site, it was a website, so to speak, happened kind of out of necessity. My family lived in all over the place. So at one point, my parents were in Europe, I wasn't here, my brother's in army, so they're in Kuwait and Iraq, so everyone was all over the place. And back then, there weren't texting, group chatting, or things like that didn't really exist, or it was really expensive. So I built a website so we can actually communicate to each other. So I made a small family board where we can post what's going on so that we're aware that everyone's fine. And if you have like a family trip going on, or wanting to plan the family trip, you can just post quickly without trying to figure out how to call people or text people or anything like that. So that was my first introduction to building a website. And it was very primitive, if I think about it now, but it was my exposure and entry point to this world. And as I said, I have an engineering background, so I took a lot of computer science classes, and I started with like C++ or Java or more strong type languages. But when you're learning it, you don't really know the application of it, so it's very, very theoretical. So I wanted to see how I can use it, so I was building small projects along the way just to kind of get exposure to different things and what it can do. So there are a lot of little small projects here and there. So that's how it started. In 2005 to 2009, I started my career at a big consulting company at Accenture. So my client base were enterprise level, very, very big companies like Pfizer, Shell, or like Computer Associates, Halliburton. So those companies, when they have very, very custom things that they use internally. So whenever we go to the clients, we built the software, and I didn't even get into the website portion yet. I was building the custom software for them, and every time we go to different clients, we have to customize very differently. So it was very custom development going on, and they have various applications or tools that they need to integrate with. So it's usually very custom development going on during that time. After I got into some of those, I realized that I wanted to learn programming a little more. And to do that, it's probably better to go to a small company. So I decided to go to a startup. So I went to a startup and went to more like a web development. And that company did, you build a document online. So like you pretty much do like a different binding and do various options. And this is back in the days, like Flash days. So we use Flex to make sure it's a more interactive and pretty. And what it does is that it goes to a factory after it was built online, and then they ship it to the client. So they'll make like HR materials or marketing materials or things like that. So that was very different. And so it was a C#.NET base, and then front end was CSS, JavaScript, and Flex, and different tools. And it was during the time that it was economic downturn. So I got let go from the company. And I was thinking about going to grad school at the time, so I ended up going to grad school. And I wanted to see if I wanted to take a different turn, so I went to School of Visual Art in New York City as a 3D animation, computer arts. So it was a very different turn. And I got in, and I realized that I had about 8 months left before I go to school. So like, what am I going to do for that 8 months? And during that time, I got contacted by some headhunters, and from there, I decided to go to pick one of the companies that I got accepted from. And it turned out to be a big media digital publishing company, which was my entry point to a CMS. So it was at Hearst. And that was the first CMS I got exposed to was actually Drupal, not WordPress. But that was my first time using any open source technology as well as even PHP, because I was only working on strong type languages like .NET stuff or more like traditional computer science related technologies before. I don't know, there's like a lot of hypes about like it's not secure or whatever, but at the time when I got exposed to LambStack and all the WordPress, not WordPress, Drupal, CMS, and open source, I felt like it was more liberating because like it's way more flexible. You can do a lot more faster. So it was a very different experience for me, and I stuck with it until this day. So I liked it better. So and my department actually from Hearst got bought by a different company. So and around that time, and I also got contacted by another headhunter. So like I went to a smaller boutique agency where they focus on more CMS for the other digital media companies. So I ended up going there, and that leads to 2010 was my very first WordPress project. It was a prototype site for a magazine site. I think I can tell it now because it's been a while. It was a Southern Living by Time Inc. So I was working with Time Inc. on a different project, and they wanted to see if a WordPress can be a good fit for their other brand, which was Southern Living. I don't know if they're still part of it, Time Inc. or not. But so it worked well. And 2010 was actually when custom post type was introduced. So with that, it opened up a big door for enterprise clients because now you can build a lot of different things in WordPress. So it worked well. So they ended up using WordPress for their website. And from then on, 2010, 2015, a lot of different clients, a lot of different types of WordPress sites are applicable to very different media companies. So it's a Condé Nast, there's a New York Times, and all the other companies. That it was very interesting time to just build very different, smaller scale, bigger scale, and then applying different things to WordPress. So I was leading, I was developing, and I was getting involved a lot with a WordPress community from there. I would start speaking at different WordCamps or other technology, or even open source type of conferences as well. And when you're getting into those, you're kind of enjoying the teaching moment. So like I really like people like, fostering whoever's getting into the industry or starting. I wanted to kind of see how they grow. So that I got interested in a lot more in that. And I started contributing to core, build plugins and themes. And that leads to 2010 when I started Endeavor. So I co-founded Endeavor with Matt Dorman. He was my boss's boss, actually, from our previous company. But when we left the company, we realized that we work really well together, and the way we see how we want to handle different projects and clients, it makes sense. So we started Endeavor from there, and 2015 to 2025. It's been a very exciting journey doing platform and custom WordPress sites and the Internet of Things, AI integration. So it's been very interesting times. So throughout this career that I realized there are common themes in successful WordPress careers, or even any careers. I think it applies to a lot of other things as well, is growth mind. So continuously learning and skill development. I remember my very first boss actually told me this, and at the time, we were kind of jokingly started talking about it, but it stuck to me because it was very universal truth, is that he told me to be a sponge, just absorb everything that you can learn from anyone, not just your boss or someone you think that you'll learn from something, but peers, client, someone even like not doing a good job that you know what not to do at least. So there's a lot of that, and I really took it to heart that I try to learn everything from anyone that I get exposed to, and it's been great, and it also make you open-minded about other people as well, and also adaptation, embracing new technology and methodology, be open to adapt and try out different things that you're not familiar with. You'll be very surprised. Sometimes you might not think that it'll work, but it might work for a different situation that you have to get into. So adaptation and opportunity. There's another episode that I had actually. I was traveling a lot earlier in my career, and I had an opportunity, because I was traveling a lot, I was able to upgrade my seat to first class, so I was all excited. I was so tired usually, so I don't talk to anyone when I'm on the airplane. But it was an interesting opportunity that there was a person who sat next to me. He was very high up C-level guy from a very big company. And I realized that I have to ask something, that career advice. This is the opportunity. I'm never going to see this kind of people. So I asked him, that's like, so someone who's starting a career or just started a career, what would you give, like what would you tell them as a career advice? And he told me that just get into a project that's failing, that you're gonna learn so much from it, and your sense of accomplishment will be really high, and you'll get recognition. So I was like, okay. And then I had that opportunity that I was assigned to a project that was literally failing because a bunch of people before me left the project and left the company because they didn't like the project, and it was known to be the failing project. And I got in, and my boss actually told me that I can't really help you that much because I don't know much either. It's a sink or swim situation. You'll just have to get through it. I'm like, okay, and I stuck through it, and we pulled it through. That project actually succeeded, and we finished the project successfully, and the clients were happy. They would take us to like dinner, and they really bring us to like it's like, what is those, VIP lounge on the Met Stadium and things. I was like, well, this is amazing. And we got recognized by the head of the North America region. So he came down to celebrate our success, and he personally invited me to his group, which was rare because that group that he was in was actually for the people who have MBA or like really needed to establish in the career. And I was like, oh, this is great. But the most important thing I learned is also sense of accomplishment was amazing because we pulled it through. But the most important thing for that opportunity was that I learned so much because you had to go above and beyond to figure out, to finagle through the next step. So it was like a great learning opportunity. And coming out of the project, I felt like I was way ahead of the game than other people who started with me because I learned so much. So opportunities, you might not think it's a great opportunity. Just take the opportunity and just stick through it. So, and these three things, at least there are a lot of other things too, are a common thing that I noticed that if you want to be ahead of the game. So that leads to, let's talk about WordPress history. So understanding WordPress evolution helps you appreciate where your opportunities have emerged and where they're heading next. Did you know that there's 43% of web runs on WordPress? To kind of give you that in a real number, it's 522 million websites are powered by WordPress. And WordPress has been around for 22 years, and 61.3% of CMS market is on WordPress. So I'm not going to talk about all 22 years of history. I'm just going to give you the highlights of the things that are noteworthy. 2003 was when it started. Matt Mullenweg and Mike Little established the WordPress. It's a blogging platform at the time. In 2004, when plugin was introduced, so you can extend it and make other things. And the whole core fundamental stays the same, that we're building customization and plugins and themes, not touching the core. Don't touch the core, please. So that still stays. And 2005 was when themes and static pages were added. So WordPress became a full CMS, not just a blogging tool at this point. In 2010, like I mentioned before, is when custom post type was introduced. It opened up the opportunity for the enterprise client to build a lot of bigger scale things from then on. And also multi-site came out, so we actually use this in a lot of different clients too. Clients are the companies that have a smaller development team can now handle a lot bigger scale sites with a small team with multi-sites. 2018 was when Gutenberg was introduced. Now you have all this flexibility and creativity that you can add in, and add React also, so that more flexibility on the front end. And 2025, I think WordPress announced AI team, I think from WordCamp EU, that is officially out there. Judy's nodding, so yep. So now there's a lot more interesting things coming out with AI integration, so it's exciting times. So what happened on technology trend during this time? So I'm not just these three things, but I also want to highlight in a quick things. 91 to 95 is a very static HTML era. So if you look at those sites now, it looks very primitive but weird, but at the time it was big to have any websites because internet was becoming a thing, so it's just websites becoming a thing as well. And 96, 2003, CSS, JavaScript. So now you have a little more styling at it to make things pretty. And then there's interactivity with JavaScript going on. 2004 to 2007 is Web 2.0 revolution. So there's dynamic, interactive experience with Ajax, jQuery, user-generated content. jQuery was an interesting one too, because before jQuery, It was JavaScript or programming was more computer science or like the technical people thing, but jQuery kind of allowed less technical people to get into JavaScript to do a lot more flexible things or creative things on the web. So it was a noteworthy on that one. And 2008 to 2015 was mobile first, so people are starting to look at the web contents or contents on their mobile devices or on their the tablet devices. So responsive design, mobile optimization, and progressive web application become a thing during that time. 2018 to 22, modern JavaScript sort of framework, so React, Vue, Angular, front-end development. So it's a modular component based architecture, so it's getting exciting. And 23, 25, AI era. So there's smart website, AI-powered development tools, and machine learning. So with all this history of things coming up and then evolving, so WordPress career has evolved as well. So I highlighted a few things just for the time being, and also, the salary range is just kind of average. There's always an outlier depending on if you're really good, if you're really bad. There's always an outlier. This is just for the reference. So bloggers and basic developers around 2003, 2010, about 25 to 50K. The skill sets that you needed was like HTML, CSS, basic PHP, WordPress admin. 2008 to 15, theme plugin developers, advanced PHP, MySQL, jQuery, JavaScript, WordPress APIs. 2016, full stack developers, 70 to 110K-ish. REST API, modern JavaScript, DevOps, and performance. 2021 to 25 is blocks and AI specialist, 100K to 140K plus. React, headless architecture, AI integration, enterprise solutions. So to kind of give you the perspective in a different manner, to see if I can see this. All right, so there's a link. It's probably provided. I put my journey, so I don't know if I really needed to put it there. But so career evolutions, WordPress evolutions, and technology trend. Kind of wanted, if you wanted to see it, I think I made a very primitive zoom function to make sure. Yeah, if you click on it, it kind of gives a little more details on it. And also like more options, like more career evolutions reference to it. So yeah, afterwards. I'm not going to click through everything, but if you want to play with it, feel free. And I wanted to highlight some of the enterprise WordPress opportunities. Not the only ones, but just kind of give you more detailed ones. Like I know some developers who are here probably were more interested in that. So headless WordPress, enterprise security, AI integration, and enterprise performance. I'm not going to get into details, but you can look at it after. And also, I wanted to see these 3 different options. I feel like everyone probably is in part of one of these 3. Maybe like I can see that. How many here are freelancers? Like, anyone involved in agency? Oh, and in-house, so like a part of employees? Okay. So yeah, I've been through all 3, so just wanted to see the pros and cons, what's the benefit, what's not, what's a drawback, so you can kind of like, if you are thinking about hopping along, it's what to reference. So freelancers, you have a higher hourly rate, you have a complete project control. You actually have to control your business, so you have to control over everything pretty much. And you have a flexibility on your schedule as well because of that. But the drawback could be income variability. So if you're in between projects, it's not necessarily you're getting paid. And also you have to manage your own self. You're the business for you. And usually it doesn't come with the benefits. And I'll head through the in-house ones. So if you're an employee of a company, you have benefits usually. So it's excellent benefits. It's job security. Well, depends on how you look at it, but usually job security compared to other ones. And then deep product knowledge, because you're usually working on one product for a longer period of time compared to other 2 options. So you have a deeper knowledge on that. But that comes with the limited technology exposure. So chances are it's harder to bring in a new technology. You probably have somebody to convince if you really want to play with a new tool or new technology. So that could be a drawback. It's a little slower depending on how you look at it. It's a less variety because you're stuck with the one project or you're building a product for a longer duration of time. Agency is more like in between. It's a hybrid. I mean, that's my soft spot because I'm an agency owner. But you have diverse project experience, so you can work with different clients and different projects without hopping over to different companies. And usually team collaboration, your internal team as well as you're working with the client team a lot of times, so you're still working with the team, not by yourself. And steady income in a way that if you're in between project, you're on the bench, you're still getting paid. It's not like you're not getting paid on like the freelancers. Drawback could be high pressure deadlines. Actually, that's what I like about it. I like fast pace, having a deadline, getting to the deadline, but it can be a drawback for people who are not used to it. So like sometimes they can say agency experience, that can kind of go with this as well. Client management, you have client management stress, you have clients, so you need to cater to your clients. So sometimes that comes with stress. And limited project depth, this really depends, but a lot of times, generally, you develop and ship the project. There might be a little kind of like a maintenance, but not really. But unless you're really going to the maintenance mode, a lot of times it's shorter and just ship it out. So it's a project depth might be a little less than the in-house developers. Skill sets, skills that commands premium rates. I highlighted this because oftentimes I realize that people who are technical doesn't have business skills, and some business people doesn't necessarily understand technical skills. But I just wanted to highlight that if you have both, now you're ahead of the game. So like if you are in one group or the other, I encourage you to learn the other skills, like for developers, learn the project management, communication skill, technical writing skills, and things that will actually put you ahead, and then it will give you the competitive advantage. So I wanted to just highlight that. And for business roles, it might be harder to learn these technical skills, but just understand what they are so that you can communicate better with the other roles that you're working with. All right, so I wanted to show a different WordPress career. I'm heavily leaning to WordPress developer because I started with that, but there are other roles, but all these roles have to work together very closely. So I just want to highlight different roles that can be there. There are more than this, but I just wanted to show the ones that are very working closely together. So developers, obviously, and then UX UI designers, and content editors, project managers, QA engineers, sales specialists, and also the content creator. And I decided to make a little fun tool. Yeah, I'm such a dorky in that way. So I made a tool so you can kind of circle around. I didn't spend too much time on it, but you don't have to circle around. So if you click on it, it'll give you the salary range for the entry, mid-level, or senior level, market demand, growth potentials, requires skills and responsibilities, key responsibilities, experience, requirements, and something about this career. If you don't like the circling, running things, you can just click this too. Just look at it. It's linked from the slide, and so you can take a look at it after. All right, so looking ahead in the future. AI is taking over. We're screwed. Seriously screwed. All right, just kidding. Obviously not. But the AI revolution is here. Artificial intelligence is transforming how we build, maintain, and interact with WordPress sites. This isn't the future, it's happening now. So 76% of developers already use or plan to use AI in their work. So I wanted to kind of touch base on the Software 2.0. It's written by Andrej Karpathy. I probably pronounced his last name wrong, but he was the former Tesla AI director. He wrote this article. I linked it from here, but you can just look up Software 2.0 and then just see his article. It's interesting. I just pulled one quote from there. In Software 2.0, much of the code is written by neural network, which are trained rather than programmed. So programmer's job is to specify the architecture, the loss function, and the data, and the rest is handled by the learning algorithm. So traditionally from Software 1.0 is more like developers building based on the requirements that are given, and there's very set requirements, but now it's changing. So you're overseeing what AI wrote. So like it's faster, but you're overseeing or just managing more. So this changes a little bit on how the software engineers and the future software engineer will be doing their job. So this shift means that WordPress developers who understand AI integration will have significant competitive advantage. So some of the stats that I can also found that said AI impacts on WordPress development. As I said, 76% of developers already use or plan to use AI in their work. 40 to 60% time gain in development, and 315 million visits to top 40 AI plugins. 82.1% of developers already use ChatGPT or other LLMs, and 75% of WordPress users are expected to rely on at least one AI plugin in 2025. And 90% of digital agencies already save up 10K per year because of AI, and they're expected to get 134% jump in 2024, so it's probably higher by now. So, with these things, I wanted you guys to remember 4 key things to take away. Be open. Embrace new technology and approaches. Just be open to what's coming up, because there will be a lot of things that are coming in. Because AI thing might be the new thing, but over the course of the history, there were always new things. So be open to learn and adopt new things. And be flexible. Be flexible to get exposed to something that you're not familiar with, and then just try to learn from it. Adapt the changes in industry needs. And be curious, because you have to be curious about what's going on, otherwise you're not going to really learn. And continue to learn and explore, and curiosity drives innovation and career growth. So ask questions, dig deeper, never stop learning. Just be curious about what's happening all over the world and what's happening in technology, WordPress, or everywhere. And also be creative. That's the more exciting part. Think differently and solve problems uniquely. And creativity sets you apart in a crowded marketplace and leads to innovation solutions. And it's also a very exciting time. There's so many different things and so many things that you can start easier. So be creative about how you can apply all these different things. So, as I said, every story is different. Your path through WordPress will be unique and shaped by your interests, opportunities, and determination. So this is my story. I just try to pick the pictures of some of the things that over the course of last maybe 10, 15 years. So I'm not a photo person, so I used to hate taking any pictures. So I couldn't really find all my older pictures. But even looking at this over the past, how many, like 10, 15 years, like some of the things I got recognized for, some of the places that I was published, some of the podcasts I was on, and some of the talks that conferences I was speaking at. It gives you, it's a very fun time to just look at what happened during this time. So, what's your story? Every successful WordPress career starts with a single step. Whether you're building your first website, scaling enterprise solutions, your unique journey is just beginning. And the WordPress community is waiting and then super excited that what you're going to create. So, start your story today. All right, thank you. That wraps it up. And there's a website for my company and also Boozy Browsing Podcast if you want to check out. Any questions?
So, talk about adapting to new technology. Is there anything that sticks out in your past, like coming from one language or something to learning a new language and seeing it pop up? Is there anything that really helped you out?
Help me out. I was always curious, and I'm not really shy to ask any questions. I'm happy to say that I don't know. So usually when I'm switching languages, sometimes coming from consulting background, because initially I thought I had to act like I know everything, especially at the client site. But I kind of took my gender and being young and looking young as my advantage. So I'll just kind of ask questions. I'm like, I don't know this. Sometimes even if I know, I wanted to see what other people would think to kind of do differently. So I'll just ask questions like, oh yeah, I have so-and-so problem. How would you fix it? And I'll randomly ask random questions, and I'll go to clients and I was like, yeah, so I have this situation. What do you think should be a better option? So I'll ask a lot of questions like that, and then try to reference a lot of those answers into learning and adapting and different things. And I mean, you're a developer, so it's not that hard to pick up different languages, especially like you have a base foundation. Oh, that's actually a good thing, because I realized at one point that even though I had a computer science background, and I realized some other developers who started late, who didn't have a foundation and computer object-oriented, whatever, if they didn't understand it, there's a limit to how far they can go. So I encourage them to learn the basics too. So like learning basics actually allows you to expand and extend better. So yeah, if you're thinking about that, like, you probably have like a fundamentals on the developer. So learn the basics, and sometimes it's actually, it applies to a lot of areas. Any other questions? Yes.
I was really excited to hear you talk about a lot of enterprise-related things because my background is enterprise.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to ask you I was very interested in the headless development. Is there certain projects or places that you would recommend people go to learn more about using WordPress in a headless environment?
Learning, well, I mean, there are different applications I can give you, but it's so yeah. What? Yeah.
There's a Discord channel for headless WordPress that I can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
You ever done like Discord stuff? There's actually a really good Discord channel where they talk about nothing but getting started and like headless WordPress.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I would say like learn APIs, and then because like whatever is going to fit your GraphQL, but that's, I don't know if you're a developer or not, but then just understanding different structure probably will be helpful.
I have experience in both graphics.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Comments? All right. Yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. Grab me after.
Thank you so much. Meeky Hwang?